This ladder is just so dang heavy. So I'm gonna wanna be probably like right there. That's actually good because I got a purlin right underneath of it. Now that we're through the valley, we're gonna be ending on the gable end of this roof. We wanna make sure that our sheets are running parallel to that gable. We don't wanna come in all crooked. It's very important when you're running out or into a valley because you can get askew just a little bit. And we're gonna double check that really quickly before we get too close. That way, if we have to make up, you know, a 1/16 on each sheet or something, which isn't a lot, but we can do it now so we're not fighting it at the very end all at once. This is much better working at height. I am a 1/16 ahead of where I would want to be for an exact dimension. You are 7/16 ahead of where we want to end up. I only want to change a 1/16 in my entire run. So we're going to make it up on your top, which will be easier than making it up where the hem is. So let's go ahead and we'll just mark out a 1/16 back on each sheet. That's easily doable. They should make these hand seamers spring loaded so they open back up automatically. You know, I hope that like at times like this, Greg, when we're working and the scissor lift is sitting there with the camera in it, not moving, that people can appreciate the fact that the building is not moving. Tomorrow's 4th of July. Let's go celebrate by, huh? I'd love for you to mow my lawn. I mean, if you don't got nothing else going on.
I mean, not yet.
Well, it sure is nice to be on these straight runs. Easy cuts, easy prep on the panel, and I mean, they install so much quicker than going through that valley. You wanna know how I usually know when I'm sweating too much?
When your hands get sweaty?
Bro, when my hands look like I just been in a pool and they're all like,
you got the soggy hand syndrome?
yeah. Oh my God, dude. I figure if I stop drinking water for the next hour, yeah, good job, man.
Yeah, that's all you do, dude. Stop drinking water and you'll be fine.
Then I won't sweat so much.
We're on a beach, sipping something strong. Got a new love.
Okay, so we got the main roof steel on as much as we can do until we build that chimney, and now we've got to get this porch roof done, and that's going to involve laying out this valley so that ideally we really want the ribs to come in at an exact point. The problem is, remember when we made it so that that rib was right in the center of our ridge cap of this roof here that dives into that valley? Well, it looks aesthetically awesome. However, the dimension is such that our panel is gonna end with a rib right on the outside of the roof, and it's gonna be the male leg, which is not ideal. We really would want minimally an inch past so that we can bend up that inch tab and put our trim on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it as close as possible, which means that we'll probably be 1 inch off. I don't think we're ever gonna see it, so let's go ahead and lay this out, see what we come up with. This is our square line that we already did here, right? I am 104 1/4, and then I marked up here at 104 1/4. Yeah, okay. Now, oh yeah, there's a 14-foot mark right there. Yeah, yeah, that's right, I do remember doing this. So we squared this up. Believe it or not, I've already got a mark right here where the center of a rib is. So I've already done that. So that corresponds with something, I don't know what, but I've already marked a center of a rib. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark these edges. And this is where the fun begins, because now we just need to, well, actually, Greg, you know what we can do, my friend, is we can use our other friend, mathematics. Since this here is on this point, I measure from here to there, over up to there, and get this measurement right here. This will give me my longest rise, 158 3/4. Now that we have our longest dimension, what we can do is use math to have this angle figured out, which it should be the 43.5 degrees, or really stinking close. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut this piece of steel right here We'll get it hemmed, we'll get everything right, and we'll come up here and we'll just double check it. Then what we can do is just use math to calculate all the rest of these, go make them down low, bring them up and install them. Boom, lickety split. So I think that's what we're gonna do, Greg. 158 3/4. All right, we just got all these pieces cut up. We've got our valley set entirely cut. Hopefully it's right. It always makes me a little bit nervous when you do calculations and then go ahead and make all your cuts, because even though you're pretty confident in your math, a slight miscalculation can compound itself. This looks great though. We got a nice consistent cut. You can kind of see that if I just keep flipping them over, they just gonna line up hopefully and go right up our valley. We've also got our standard sheets that come out of the valley to the gable end, and hopefully we can bust up there, get it done. And yeah, I'm tired of taking this harness on and off because it's very hot. Also, I know I've gotten a lot of questions about the fall protection. Greg's wearing a 3M, I think it's a DBI Sala ExoFit.
I don't know.
Strata. I don't remember. This thing cost me like 450 bucks. It's an ExoFit Strata and made by 3M. And then I'm wearing a Falltech, which honestly the 3M is sought after. Guys like them. I wasn't a huge fan compared to the comfort of the Falltech, so that's why I passed it on to Greg. Even though you have a Falltech if you want to, you just choose not to.
I just don't want to take.
You're too lazy.
I'm lazy.
You're lazy.
I'm just too lazy.
Your body is different. It really does stink that our miters aren't going to line up perfectly. I don't even know how we call ourselves carpenters.
I agree. Yeah, I like when things line up, but at what cost?
Okay. Good news is we're hitting our marks, Greg.
Yes.
And it's running like it should, so we can't complain too much.
We're doing something right.
Greg, why does it say over here on our trim for good time call G Money at 815-97? Whose phone number?
I know, I came up here and I was already up here.
That's weird.
Not like, geez, why did I write that? I think I'm lonely or something. Wonder who's gonna have my phone number if and when this building ever gets tore down. Because I doubt this building's gonna be tore down or changed
Before
in my
you're
lifetime.
dead? Well, one thing is for sure, they shouldn't need to re-roof it. right, well look at that. We got the valley done on our last side, and we got these sheets ran out to our last one. Now this last one, we can't leave the leg on. This was what attributed to the fact that our ribs over there in the valley couldn't line up perfectly, because it would have meant that this rib would have been right next to this location and our trim detail wouldn't have worked. So we got to go down, bend up the last piece so we can lock on this piece of trim. So that will be an awesome feat. And we are exactly where we wanted to be, 14 7/8 away from the edge. So that is awesome as well. It is another hot day here on site. Almost done. Well, with this. Yeah, there's still a lot to do. So this last one, you know, we don't have that flange where we can put those fasteners. So instead what we have to do is make some hold down clips. I'll show you how I do that. I just take some leftover pieces of flashing and I'm gonna cut them at 3 inches. These don't have to be perfect per se. I'm gonna take my benders, I'm gonna bend them over just under 1 inch. And then what I'll do is I'll take these little clips, stick them right over top of the roof, and we'll screw them down, put one more clamp on them. That way they can't go anywhere. That's what's gonna hold down this roof edge, but then you'll see in the future we've got a piece of trim that's gonna go and cap over this and this, giving it that seamless look without any fasteners. Nice job.
We did it.
We did it. I'm hungry for lunch. Yeah, it's 16th and 12 feet. I think that's, I mean, that could be, you know,
It's what the other side shows.
the same thing,
Yeah,
16th of an inch.
16, like barely. Which is probably all right.
Let's see what the old laser does say. I don't see it. Oh wait, I do. Let me go look. Ugh. According to this, Greg, I can see it on the edge of this F&J right here. I can see it shining right on the edge of this F&J, which is exactly. So what we're doing is just double checking, making sure this wall is plumb before we go ahead and frame in this door. We made sure it was plumb when we did our windows, but you know, that was a couple weeks ago now. It could shift around since there's really no structure holding it in place other than our chains, and you know, those, you know, chains can stretch, whatever. Until we get our walls on, that's the only way it's gonna really lock down. So now we feel really good because we just put the 300G, I think that's what that is. Yeah, we just put the LAX 300G, which is just a plumb line laser, and it's exactly running up the edge of this building all the way up. So we're pretty good there. Next thing I need to do is find the center of this door opening. 38 1/4. We're gonna go 19 1/8 center. I always like to double check it by going both ways. This side's like 19 1/4, so what we're gonna do is split the 19 1/8. And we'll go 19 3/16 both ways. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the 300. We're gonna run it right up my edges. Just checking to make sure, yes, we're 38 and just about 3/8, which is what this bottom was. So we know we've got two good parallel lines that are good and plumb. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on for just, or actually I'll just take it off. So I know that this board here is at 68 inches because when we put our story pole together, this was 38-inch bottom and this is a 30-inch spacing. So I know my marks on the column are at 68 inches from 0. So what that means is this door is 82 1/8. So what I need to do is make a mark up here at 82 1/8. I'm gonna use that 68 inches that I know this line is right here, and I'll just use the difference, which in this case is 14 1/8 from this point up to mark out my header. But I need to get a little ladder or something. So I'll just make sure my tape is good at the bottom, and then I'm gonna mark 14 1/8 of an inch. So really the process of the walk door is like the same as the window. We're gonna do a 2x4 board at the top. We've got a 2x6 stiffener that's gonna go across the entire header. And then we've got our jambs. So I got my mark on the side where I know I want my height to be. And then even though I could just measure off this, I feel like using the 8-foot level just gives you a better, precise readout as to what the level header should be. And just for the heck of it, we're at 14 1/8. So that's good. That's where it should be. These marks are the same and it is level across this header.
Oh, we got pretty lucky on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out because I was recording it, you know.
It should be a perfect fit.
Well,
I cut it to perfection.
Greg, remember there's only one perfect carpenter.
Right, I'm trying to be like you.
Well, we all are.
But are we though? Is that supposed to be on top of that concrete or next to it?
Well, if everything was perfect, it would be flush exactly with it, but we both know that the concrete's not perfect. You know what's crazy? It's the first time, no, I don't think I wore my ISOtunes at all last week.
Okay.
And I put them on, they turned on and they connected. I have not charged them in probably 3 weeks. Just putting them back in the case. I haven't plugged the case in probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, I want to say mine, because that's what I use a lot for my bike rides.
Oh, do you?
I would say I haven't charged mine in probably the same amount of time.
Tell you what, you guys already know I love Stabila, but one way or another, pick yourself up one of these plumb dot line laser, cross lasers. I don't know what you want to call them. I just call them like a plumb dot laser with cross lines because they have a plumb dot that goes down and up, top and bottom. And then this one also does a horizontal and a vertical line. Dude, it's so easy to set one of these up real quick, let it self-level, and you can plot your points without any error, knowing that you're just like dead on, and it's easy. I like the green light outside. It just seems to be a little bit better. I think some people have mixed reviews on whether it's better or not, but I like it. Now what our goal here this afternoon is you see this pipe? They ran in a 3-inch pipe here as well as a water line down the way a little bit. They underground bored it. So we're going to try to get this detail here finished so they can mount the electrical panel, because the service provider for the electric won't come and do anything. They won't even schedule it until the box is mounted. So we're just trying to get that set so the box can get mounted, and then we'll be able to take off with some Versetta stone and some steel down this wall. So that's kind of a push of ours, is to get some of this exterior covered up. We still got about a month before our windows and doors show up. Thank you, COVID-19. That's delayed everything, but I think it's gonna work out just fine. We've got plenty to do, and other contractors got to get in here and do a bunch of underground work, plumbing, electrical, as well as the concrete before it can get finished anyway. So they're gonna be able to do that while we're waiting on our windows. So it kind of is what it is, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to rush this through and get this all covered up. Oh, shoot. Glad I caught that.
What?
This opening is exactly the dimension, so we need to be on the outside of it.
On top of the concrete?
Yeah. So we're gonna have to get a dimension off his concrete, cut these to fit, which not the end of the world. I'm gonna get my laser measure and do that. I think it'll be better. So that's at 82 inches. That concrete's an 1/8 inch high. These guys don't lie, so these are a perfect tool to check in between things, like what I'm doing right here. And this one is also 82 inches. So what Greg's doing is installing a treated block down on the concrete so that we can have a good secure backing for this jam so it can't twist. And when we cut out these girts, it's secured to the concrete so that at this location, the door can't move, the frame, it's locked down. Because remember, we've got our posts locked down, but the girts that run through, they're just kind of there. And so this gives us a nice solid spot to mount to. Here, grab the board here. Nice work.
Those guys can go on the side.
Man, it's crazy, isn't it? I don't remember the last time I framed a door or a window with somebody, you know? I was more or less just saying, like, I mean, I just can't believe, like, we're like working on top of each other here.
On a door?
Yeah, on the door. Okay, walk door framed. Now we can go ahead and fill in the rest of these plywood blocks. And then our goal is we're gonna get this wall covered up so it's ready for steel and the wainscot for set of stone siding. So, but more importantly, what's pushing us is this electrical box. They wanna get that mounted tomorrow morning. Man, it sure felt good today to get done with laying those standing seam roof panels so that we could get off that roof. It was hot, another 90+ degree day, and we were able to start working on some of these sidewall details. We got our first 2 doors framed in, this house wrap up. They're gonna mount a panel so that we can then start installing Versetta stone up to that panel and then run some steel down this wall. Now, we don't have our doors, we don't have our windows. According to the schedule, about a month away still before those windows and doors show up. So we gotta just cover the building up. We're gonna keep working on these details, but it's the end of the day right now. So we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. Thanks a lot.